Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Why don't we go ahead and stay on our backs? Many of us are already there. Sorry if you just rolled up, or if you are not on your back. If that sounds like a nice way to start. And you can just adjust, whatever is most comfortable here. Maybe that's just laying flat in Shavasana, or bringing the soles of the feet together for reclined butterfly. Maybe tucking blocks underneath your knees. We ask ourselves to arrive here this evening let the noise of your day slowly begin to fade away. And you drink in this time and this space. Each time you breathe out, maybe another thought or event or distraction. Begin to detach from these thoughts that might create a little bit of mental clutter. And we invite in this time as a tool to defrag, to declutter, to detach. We invite in a parigraha, or non-grasping, and the law of detachment, one of our 7 spiritual laws of yoga. And we set the intention of practicing these things on our mat as part of our practice. Can we let go of the noise from our day, from our lives? When thoughts do present themselves, we start to trail off, can we let go of and detach from them and just come back to our breath, to this present moment awareness, back into our body, this aspect of meditation in our asana practice. And so we use our breath as a tool, opening up with Durga Pranayama, 3-part yogic breath. Inhaling, fill your belly, feel your breath expand through the rib cage, up into the chest, all the way to the top of your lungs, and then a slow 3-part breath out from the chest, through the rib cage, back down, where we gently pull our belly muscles down towards the spine, squeezing out that last bit of breath. And we'll continue at our own pace. Right? Maybe we bring our left hand to our heart and right hand to our belly, and just allow these points of connection not only to bring your awareness, especially to the heart center at Anahata Chakra, but to feel this rise and fall without force, without strain. Let it be effortless. Take one more breath in, fill up. 3-part yogic breath, belly, rib cage, fill up to the top of your lungs. Feel this very slow, mindful, peaceful breath out. Welcome yourself here to your practice this evening. Also just that art of letting go, art of surrender. From here, let's draw our right knee up into our chest, lengthen the left leg long. into wind releasing pose. See if you can send your breath where you feel that gentle squeeze, that compression in the right hip. See if the face can stay soft, the shoulders relaxed. And there's energy through the left leg. Taking another breath in here. Move into a nice easy twist, crossing the right knee all the way over to the left side. Maybe tuck a block if it's just kind of near hovering, if that feels good. You can release the right arm if it feels all right for the neck, turning your gaze over your right shoulder. And again, no element of force here, just letting that knee fall where it may. Letting the body receive this twist without forcing it to happen, just breathing into it. Back through center, lengthening the right leg long and hugging your left knee up into the chest. Taking a few breaths here now. Wind releasing pose. Just notice the side, notice your breath, see if you can feel it, where you feel sensation. Continuing our 3-part yogic breath, our Durga Pranayama. And then crossing over into a nice, just gentle twist. Maybe with a block under the left knee, releasing the left arm out. Maybe turning your gaze over the left shoulder. And keeping both shoulders connected. Allowing the body to just receive here, not forcing, just breathing. One more inhale. And coming back through center. Lengthen your left leg long. Both legs extend. Take a moment to just notice. And then draw knees, both knees up into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. A silent thank you for carving out this time. Invite in your intention to detach, to let go. Let's roll over to our right side, pausing in a fetal-like pose just for a moment. And then pressing up to a cross-legged seat. Maybe sitting on a block here, elevating the hips. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl, so it's just gently kind of tipping forward, finding a tall spine. If you're on the block, scoop forward. So your sit bones are right on the edge of the block, and just close the eyes or find a soft gaze down. And we'll rest our palms face up on our lap, shoulders down the back. Arriving here, welcoming yourself here. We'll take a few moments just to invite in stillness. At any time you can switch which foot is in front. We'll be coming around with a drop of our pranayama essential oil blend. This helps to open up deep channels for breathing. placing a drop in your left hand, and then you can either rub it in your chest area, as long as you don't have any sensitivity to peppermint, eucalyptus, lemon, or rosemary. You can also just hold that hand in front of your nose for a few rounds of breath, or even place it on your back to encourage that 360-degree breath, feeling your breath in your belly, your low back, your rib cage, mid back, and the chest, but also in the upper back. If you would not like to receive, right, this scent, this element of our practice, please place your left hand down on your lap, and then I'll know to skip that for you. Again, with this, you can rub it in. Make a few circles with your right hand in that palm. Apply it to the chest region, upper back, back of your neck, or simply just inhale from your palm in front, letting your hand hover in front of your nose. And just notice your experience with this scent. This blend is very invigorating. For some, we find this to bring a sense of clarity. The element of rosemary, the eucalyptus, and for opening up our respiratory channels. The peppermint, very invigorating scent, also cooling. Let this awaken your senses in your own way. As we continue with our Durga Pranayama, we invite in a mantra. Mantra repetition, a yoga pose for the mind. Next inhale, Om, and exhale, Hum. This is a silent repetition, Om, Hum. Om, sound that unites all living things, vibration. Helping us to connect to our highest level of consciousness, awareness. And Hum brings this awareness and intention to and from the heart center. So let this infuse your practice, not only giving your mind a task, but just tapping in, tuning into this vibration, its meaning, Om and Hum. Take one more breath in and welcome yourself here. Perhaps with a sense of a little more openness and clarity, this experience with aromas. We'll make our way forward to hands and knees. Right? If you need to wipe off your hand with a towel, or just kind of rub your palms together on your clothing. Make our way forward to hands and knees, tabletop pose, finding a nice neutral spine, grounding through our palms, spreading out our fingers. And your low belly muscles, drawing them up and back, finding a belly lock, Uddiyana Bandha, as the tail slightly tucks down. On your next inhale, cow pose, lift your tail, and keep your belly muscles engaged. Open through the chest, lift the chin. And cat pose, start at the tailbone, tuck and round through each vertebrae. Stretch the upper back, drop the head. Om, inhale, beginning to move with our breath, this nice fluid movement for the spine. Hum, tuck, round. Okay, let the mantra just near whisper on your breath. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. And you can stay just forward and back through cat-cow, or if there are any other variations, right? Maybe bringing your hips into it, shifting back hips to heels, or out to the side, or gazing over one shoulder, circular movements, no rights or wrongs. Maybe the eyes are closed. Still that silent whisper on the breath, Om. Hum. Adding sound to your breath. Ujjayi pranayama. Opening up these channels. Opening up to our most authentic self, this higher level of awareness, this timeless state. When we tune out the noise and detach, we come here to create space for the body and mind, and to find that element of focus and meditation in our asana practice. Whenever you feel ready in your body, we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. Right? So no rush in getting there. Whenever it feels good, we make our way to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's take 3 breaths in stillness here, grounding in down dog. Letting this be a grounding place. So if we felt scattered at any point during our day, I'm sure we've all experienced that, let this be that place where you settle in, feel connected to your center, your core being. Om. Hum. Walking hands back to meet our feet. We'll come into ragdoll, a forward fold at the back of our mat. Feet can stay hip width or maybe wider shoulder width or even mat width apart. Right? You can hold each elbow here. You can just let your arms drop. Maybe we slightly sway side to side. Keeping the lower body strong. The knees as bent as needed. And the spine, right? Just let it release. Feel that pleasant heaviness in the head. This is where we can allow the events of our day to roll off our shoulders. As we allow our head to drop, thoughts drop out of the crown of our head. Taking one more breath in. And releasing hands to the mat, bringing feet hip width apart. We'll take a halfway lift, either pressing hands into the shins or maybe sweeping hands back by the hips, like airplane arms. Flatten out the low back, fire up the legs, soften the face. Inhale and fold. Exhale. Inhale, pulse with your breath. Lengthen the spine. Exhale. Drop, let go. Inhale, breathe in, invite in this clarity. And exhale, detach. From here, taking your time, we'll roll up to mountain pose, Tadasana. Keep our knees bent. So we plug into the feet, the arms stay heavy, chin and tucked into the chest. Let the strength come from your legs, your core center. We slowly roll up to Tadasana. Maybe the eyes are closed. And then again, just bringing your hands to maybe cup them right in front of your nose and inhale deeply from the soles of your feet all the way up into the heart, all the way up to the crown of the head. And exhale, release palms by your side. Inhale, reach your hands up for the sky. Energizing all the way up to your fingertips and folding to Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from the hips and drop down. Halfway lift, inhale. Om. Exhale, let go. From here, sweep all the way up to the sky. Plug into the feet. Reach your hands up overhead, extended Tadasana. Anjali Mudra, hands draw to heart center. We close our eyes. Or gaze at our fingertips. Awareness here in our heart. Soft smile. Bowing in, honoring here. Arriving here. Notice this next breath in. And out. And again, reaching hands up overhead. Inhale. And fold. Exhale. Empty the lungs. Release over the legs. Halfway lift. Breathe in. And fold. Downward facing dog. From here, just walk yourself forward. On your next breath in, lift your heels, come to the balls of your feet, to your tippy toes. And now bend your knees so they hover, shins hover above the mat. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Straighten your legs, keeping your heels lifted, and then lower your heels down towards the mat. Again, inhale, come to the balls of your feet, lift your heels, tippy toes, bend your knees, press your heart back towards your thighs. Straighten, keeping heels lifted, straighten the legs, and lower the heels. And again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, press back. Straighten your legs, lower your heels. Child's pose. Bring your knees out nice and wide. Bring your big toes to touch and stretch your hips back towards your heels. And feel that connection of your forehead into the space below. And let that settle your mind. Let it empty your mind. Let this be that sweet place of Balasana. That third eye awareness, right at Ajna chakra, that space between the eyebrows. Taking another breath in. Now from here, we're going to roll to our bellies. Imagine there was an invisible marble under your nose as you slowly pull yourself forward, staying low, rolling that marble, and coming to your belly, setting up the cobra pose. Hands under the shoulders. Now lift your head. Keep the neck long. Legs are strong. Tops of the feet and tailbone root down into the earth. And we're opening the chest, rolling shoulders down the back. Take another breath in, Bhujangasana. And release forehead to the mat. And now pulsing, inhale, Om, cobra pose, light in the hands. Exhaling, forehead back down to the earth. And again, cobra pose. Inhaling up. And releasing, forehead to the mat. From here, press up to hands and knees, tabletop pose. And downward facing dog, tuck your toes and stretch back. Bring your feet to touch and reach your right leg up to the sky, three-legged down dog. And nice and slow, knee to nose. Draw your knee into your chest. Stretch back, three-legged down dog. Slowly open up your hips from here. So bend the knee and peel your right hip open on top of the left. So we're twisting from the waist. Keep your arms long. Melt your heart towards that left thigh. Then coming back again, three-legged down dog. Right leg stays lifted. Dial the hip down. And now draw your right knee forward and step forward to a low lunge. So right foot next to the right hand. Scoot it up there. And you can use your blocks here under your hands. And we can lower our left knee down to the mat. Grounding ourselves here, staying lifted through the heart, letting ourselves just receive this stretch. And let's take another breath in here. As we breathe out, we straighten both legs and drop our forehead in towards our right knee. Inhaling back forward, again, maybe that left knee connects down, and we lift through the heart, low lunge. And stretching back, separate leg stretch, both legs straighten. And we drop our head towards our knee. Once more, inhaling forward. And exhale back. Coming back forward to your low lunge. Pausing here. And now maybe walking your hands up to the right thigh, or maybe stay low. We're squeezing our inner thighs in towards one another, so we're nice and strong and engaged, especially in our core. Staying here, maybe reaching your arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Taking one more breath in and releasing hands to the mat. Stepping forward, tuck your back toe, straighten your leg, and then left foot next to the right, forward fold the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, Om. Exhale, Om. Now press down to rise up. Extended Tadasana, strong in the legs, plugging into the feet. And hands to heart center, soft smile, bowing in, noticing. Inhale, reaching back up and folding back down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and fold. Downward facing dog, plant the hands, and stepping back. Bring your feet to touch and extend your left leg long. Three-legged down dog. Then nice and slow, draw your left knee into your chest, rounding forward. Weight comes forward into the hands. Inhaling, lengthen back. And now opening up your hips, bending the left knee, peeling the left hip open on top of the right. Keeping the arms nice and long. Coming back, three-legged down dog. As we draw our left knee forward, we'll step forward, left foot next to the left hand. Maybe using your blocks and maybe connecting that right knee down to the mat. Finding a 90-degree alignment in that front knee. To allow our hips to drop forward, to lift through our chest and heart. Take another breath in here. You'll straighten both legs, so tuck the back toes, stretch your left leg long, and drop your forehead in towards your knee. Inhaling back forward, and maybe that right knee lowers, lifting through the heart. Ooh, stretch back. And once more, inhale forward. And stretch back, breathe out. Then we'll come back forward to our low lunge. Lower the right knee. And walk our hands up to the right thigh. Squeeze the inner thighs in, feel the lift from the heart. Stay here, reach your hands up for the sky. Anjaneyasana. And releasing hands to the mat. We'll step forward, tuck your back toes, straighten your right leg. And lightly step your right foot next to your left. Halfway lift, inhale, side body long. Exhale, letting go. Pressing down to lift up, extended Tadasana. From here, fold back down, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Step your left foot, giant step back to the back of your mat, and lower your left knee down. Rise up, Anjaneyasana, inner thighs squeeze in, lifting up through the heart and fingertips. Hands connect to the mat. Downward facing dog. From here, straighten your back leg and step your right foot back. Notice here. Settle in here. Lift your left leg up towards the sky. Just a smooth, fluid breath in. We'll step our left foot forward to a low lunge. Gently lower the right knee. Take a moment to ground yourself here. Low lunge. And then rise up as you breathe in. Squeeze in. Anjaneyasana. And hands connect. We'll set up to step forward. Tuck your back toes. And forward fold at the top of the mat. And fold. Halfway lift, inhale, Om. Fold, Om. Press down to rise up, extended Tadasana. Breathe in deep and grow tall with your breath. And fold, empty the lungs. Halfway lift, inhale. And fold. Right foot steps back, giant step back. Lower your right knee down, ground yourself, and then rise up. Anjaneyasana, squeeze into the midline, lift through your heart, and connect your hands downward facing dog. Tuck your back toes, straighten your leg, and step your left foot back. And settle in here, just notice, ground. Right leg reaches up to the sky. And we'll step it forward, low lunge, right foot next to the right hand, left knee lowers. And then rise up with your breath. And squeeze in, lift up, om, hum. Forward fold, top of the mat, tuck your back toes, and step forward. Halfway lift, inhale, and fold. And now press down to rise up. Bring hands to heart center. Just let yourself settle back in here to Tadasana. Coming into tree pose, Vrksasana. Right leg stays grounded. Left foot, maybe just the heel rests above the right ankle. Maybe below or above the knee. Just avoid pressing right into your knee joint. We'll continue grounding down through our right leg. Really strong, hugging our leg muscles to the bone. And just standing tall. Right, feeling that element of Tadasana here. Keeping hands at heart center, or maybe opening the arms up, growing your branches. Maybe the gaze floats up. Spiraling your pinkies in, thumbs out. Feeling that lift from the heart, even a slight back bend here. Another breath in. And bring your hands to heart center. Bring your left knee out in front of you. And then we're going to hinge back. Left foot's going to take a giant step back. Let's bring our hands down to the mat. So we come back to a little lunge. Okay, just step that left foot back. Settling in here. And again, lower the left knee. Rise up as we breathe in. This time we're going to hold our Anjaneyasana. You can stay here. Or maybe that left hand connects to the low back hip. Finding a little bit more of a back bend. Right, keeping shoulders square, heart open. Maybe the gaze floats up. Or even over your left shoulder. Maybe that hand even walks down your back leg. Let's all take one more breath in here. And three-legged down dogs. We'll connect our hands, tuck your back toes, and reach your right leg back up towards the sky. Again, bend your knee and peel open your hips. Three-legged down dog, keeping the right leg lifted. Dial that right hip back down, straighten. Come to warrior one, stepping your right foot next to your right hand. Left heel pivots down, and then rise up. This expression, we're just going to sweep hands out wide, back by the hips, energizing through our fingertips. Straight arms or bent elbows, whatever allows you to open and lift through the heart. You can adjust your stance. We're nice and flat in the feet. Feeling those legs energizing towards one another. And just breathing in here, receiving this place of strength and foundation in the legs. Feeling that lift in the heart. Take another breath in. And then interlace fingers behind the back. Inhale, lift through your heart. And humble or devotional warrior, slowly like a waterfall fold. If this is too much for your shoulders, you can rest your hands on your right thigh or try bending your elbows, catching one wrist. In your humble warrior, drop your head, tuck your chin into your chest. Let's all bring our hands to the inside of our right foot. You can scoot that right foot over. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Once again, lower your left knee down to the mat. This time we'll drop down to our forearms, or you can use your block under your elbows, or two blocks under your elbows, forearms. You can also just keep your palms connected. This is just a little bit too deep. We can just try to use our blocks as a support here. And we all, again, just tuck our chin into our chest. And that element of surrender as we stretch open our hips. Breathing in deeply, fully without strain. from here, taking another breath in. Om. Om. We'll come back up onto our hands. If you have your blocks, you can just set them aside. Tuck your back toes, straighten through that left leg. And now we're going to walk our hands over to the left. Allow both feet to flatten and pivot so our big toes face the side wall. And we come into a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe stretch your hands out in front of you, almost like a really wide and short-legged down dog. Or you can bend the elbows and just flatten the palms. Now your weight to be forward in the balls of the feet. Keep the legs strong. Lower body is strong here, meaning we're hugging our leg muscles to the bone, creating that solid place from which the upper body surrenders. Taking one more breath in. And then walk yourself towards your right foot. Pivot both feet. Downward facing dog. So we'll tuck our back toes and step that right foot back. And settling back in here. Child's pose. Lowering your knees to the mat. Stretching your hips back to your heels. And allow that forehead, third eye connection to settle the mind, the body. To settle this energy. We'll take another breath in here. Coming again to our bellies, come back to that imagined marble that will roll under our nose, staying low, pressing forward and lowering to your belly. This time for Cobra, walk your fingertips out and lift your head and shoulders, drawing shoulder blades down the back. And our legs are strong, pressing the tops of the feet, tailbone down, right kneecaps lifted. And roll shoulders down the back, neck is long. Take another breath in here. As you exhale, just drop your right shoulder towards the center of your mat and you gaze over the left shoulder. Come back through center, open the chest, inhale. And then just lightly dip that left shoulder down, gazing over the right. Once more through center, inhale, Om. And release forehead to the mat, Om. Tabletop pose, hands and knees. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes and shift back. And from here, soften the knees and just walk your feet forward, coming to a forward fold at the top of our mat. Surrendering the upper body. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Press down to rise all the way up, extended Tadasana. Bring hands and awareness to heart center. Just welcome yourself back here. Notice the balance. Four corners of both feet. Imagine you have roots growing underneath your feet, connecting that earth element below. From here, all that nourishes us, we draw up. Feel that breath rise to your heart. From your heart, feel a glow permeate every cell, every fiber of your being. That is our mantra. Om. Om. Tree pose. Left leg will stay down. Right foot, maybe finding this kickstand variation. Or bring the foot either below or above your knee. And just avoiding pressing into the knee joint. Standing tall, grounding to that right leg. Staying here, growing your branches, reaching arms out of the V or any other expression. Feeling that slight back bend, that lift from the heart as we ground down into our roots below. This connection to an infinite, pure potentiality above. Take one more breath here. Bring hands back to heart center. And we'll just turn our right knee out in front of us. And come to a low lunge from here. So we take a giant step back and bring your hands down to the mat. And lower your right knee down. Rising up, Anjaneyasana, squeeze in, lift through the heart and fingertips, staying here. Or maybe the right hand drops to the low back hip, or even down the back leg. Maybe the left hand reaches a little bit further back. Keeping the shoulders square and open, heart open. Maybe gazing over your right shoulder for one more breath in. And now a three-legged down dog. So we're going to bring our hands to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Pick up the left foot and reach it nice and high. Again, bend your knee and just stack open your hips, peeling the left hip open. Stretching back. Three-legged down dog. Warrior one. Step your left foot next to your left hand. Pivot the right heel down. And rise up. Again, we'll find that expression of just opening our arms out wide, hands back behind by the hips. Making any adjustments in your feet, so nice and balanced here. Shorting stance, maybe scooting that left foot towards the left edge of the mat. And let that heart open, arms straight or elbows bent. We're not swaying into our low back here. Taking another breath in to receive. And then interlacing fingers behind the back. Inhale, lifting from the heart. Humble warrior, that waterfall-like flow, maybe resting on the left thigh or to the inside of the left leg. The option here to also rest your hands on your left knee or thigh. Wherever we are, dropping the head, tucking your chin into your chest. Bring the hands down to the inside of the left foot and scoot it over. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot and lower the right knee down. From here, we'll drop to our elbows or elbows to a block, or maybe stack two blocks, one on top of the other. And drop the head, close the eyes. Invite in this opportunity to practice in that art of letting go, of surrender, not attaching ourselves to the sensations we feel, rather using our breath and closing our eyes. Just noticing what is, not trying to control it and change it in this moment. And a sense of peace with that. Take one more breath here. We'll come back up onto our hands. If you have your blocks, again, you can set them aside. Tuck your back toes, straighten your left leg. We'll walk our hands now over to the right. Pivot both feet so our big toes face the side wall. We come back to our wide-legged forward fold. Option here to interlace fingers again behind the back and stretch arms up overhead. Or maybe to interlace fingers right at the base of the skull, behind the neck, not pulling, just allowing a little bit of gravity to stretch the neck. Or, of course, your hands can just stay connected down. Coming back to down dog arms or bent elbows, whatever expression here feels good in your body. Still that whisper of Om and Hum. Let's bring our hands down to the mat if they're not already there. Into a halfway lift, walking hands out. Breathe in here. And bring hands back down. Walk yourself now to your left foot. Pivot both feet. Left foot forward, top of the mat, and downward facing dog. From here, we'll just step back. Again, just notice. Half pigeon pose, reach your right leg up towards the sky. Gently scoot that right knee forward so it lands behind your right wrist. at the top of your mat, and the right knee is towards the edge of the mat. And we straighten the left leg behind us, making sure we're flexing our right toes, and this feels okay for the right knee. Lots of space for falling over. Tuck a block under that right hip if you want a little bit of extra support. Just an option to explore. From here, we come into more of a sleeping pigeon. Again, elbows drop, forehead drop, and close the eyes. Surrender here. Many situations where the law of detachment comes into play. On our mats, we detach from needing to look perfect or do what the person next to us is, how the practice should be. We allow ourselves to just be. We detach from thoughts that create that mental clutter so that we can create space and clear the mind. To allow this half pigeon, that forehead connection, to settle the mind, to bring clarity. Let us take one more deep inhale here. Breathe out. Cool. As we lift ourselves up, we roll over onto our right hip and swing our left leg forward, tucking our right foot into the inner left thigh. The left leg's out a little bit at an angle. Come into a side stretch, wild thing variation. Plant your right hand right behind your right hip. Then the left arm will sweep up and over. So you can stay here. If it feels okay, the shoulder, the knees will lift up, lifting the hips. Let your gaze fall wherever your neck is comfortable. And just feel this extension, this reach through your left fingertips. And just breathing space into the whole side body for one more breath in. And releasing, hips down to the mat. Both hands reach up overhead. We'll turn to face our left leg. Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Wherever your hands land, tuck your forehead towards your knee. Allow the heart to pull your spine forward. And maybe close the eyes. Notice where you feel your breath. And breathe deeply. And just mindful of where you feel some expansion, some opening. Taking one more breath in here. And then we'll release. Come back to a downward facing dog. If you'd like to cross your legs and come forward, or you can roll off to one side or come to hands and knees. Eventually we'll just step that back into down dog, taking a moment to just settle in here. To ground. Half pigeon pose on the other side. Left leg will reach up. And then lightly connecting that left knee behind the left wrist. Close to the left edge of your mat. Nice and easy. Stretch that right leg long behind you. You know, maybe a block under your left hip if that feels like a good support and prop for you. And then we surrender forward, dropping to our elbows, dropping our head, closing the eyes. As we detach, we invite in that witness to our experience, to our practice, without judgment. And we just notice. We notice if our mind trails off, or if we're struggling here and fidgeting. We notice, these choices that we make in our practice on our mats. Maybe the choice to surrender and to just breathe. And to be mindful of the sensation you feel without forcing anything to happen. Just allowing it to be, letting your breath be that tool to create some space, perhaps some release, no matter how small. Take one more breath in here. And as we release, this time lifting up, moving the block if you have it under your hip, rolling over to that left hip, and just gently swinging the right leg forward. Into our side stretch here. The left hand will ground right behind the left hip, right arm stretches up and over, staying here, or lifting up, just finding this expression in your body, in your way. Letting it feel just open and free and graceful in your way. Take one more breath in and lowering hips back down. Bringing both hands up to the sky, letting the spine grow tall. Then folding, hinging from the hips over the right leg, Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Back to mantra. Om. One more breath in here. And walking yourself up. We'll just straighten both legs out in front of us. We'll close here in Dandasana, stack pose. Pressing the palms firmly into the mat, right beside your hips. Feeling that connection. Letting it settle, letting it ground us. Holding here. Face is soft, free of tension. Legs engaged, core strong, pressing down firmly. Option to add Mula Bandha, lifting the pelvic floor, a sling, holding up, locking in that energy of our root or Muladhara chakra, and feeling that rise up to the heart. And releasing to our backs. Maybe reaching out in front of you and rolling back, or you can just walk yourself down. We close with Shavasana, final resting pose, corpse pose. Legs to be long, turning your feet out to the corners of your mat. And your arms to rest at your side. Effortless here. We are peaceful, in a safe place to just let ourselves go, to detach from the noise, and to just be. gratitude, just sending this out as you breathe out beyond these walls. Draw our knees into the chest. This time we'll roll over to our left side, resting in fetal pose. And then pressing up from here into cross-legged seat. May the eyes stay closed. We bring hands back to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And just notice any shifts. Notice the effects of your practice. The experience of practicing detachment, letting go. Just planting that seed where we might be able to practice detachment as we are off our mats in our day-to-day lives to help us stay grounded and centered, taking ourselves out of a situation, connecting to our breath before responding or reacting, noticing what we are attached to, and if it really brings us joy, taking a step back and asking ourselves, do I really need this? Right? Springtime is a good time for spring cleaning, maybe getting rid of a few things, clearing out that one drawer or your closet, taking it to Goodwill. Drawing thumbs to third eye center. We honor that inner teacher. We honor the light within. This vibration, this peace, this authenticity. And as we bow forward, together we say, Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Such a pleasure to guide your practice. Look forward to seeing you each week, although next week I will not be here, and the lovely Rachel, who's here with us tonight, will be subbing for us. So I'm really excited to have her offer her take on Deep Flow to you next Thursday. So I hope you'll all be here and welcome her. Have a wonderful evening. Any questions, let me know. Please take your time leaving.